Welcome to the Explainer. Look, if you're a VC hunting for an opportunity that perfectly balances aggressive, scalable growth with deep structural socioeconomic impact, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're breaking down the investment thesis for BantuWarga. This is a highly defensible platform built from the ground up to become the central trust engine for Indonesia's massive and mostly untapped informal economy.
Let's kick things off with a massive number, 86.58 million. As of February 2025, that is how many people in Indonesia operate entirely in the informal sector. We're talking about a staggering 59.4% of the nation's total workforce. These are your freelancers, independent tradespeople, and daily wage earners, all operating completely outside the formal banking and legal systems. For us, this isn't just a fun statistic, it's a total blue ocean. It's a vast, total addressable market that's absolutely plagued by friction, and man, is it ripe for disruption.
Here's how we're going to systematically de-risk this opportunity today. First, the massive informal labor problem. Next, the Rebana metropolitan opportunity. Then, BantuWarga, the trust engine. After that, built for transaction security, followed by a scalable monetization model, and we'll wrap up with driving real social impact.
All right, part one, the massive informal labor problem. Before we even touch the product, you have to understand why, right now, is literally the perfect time to enter this market. Take a look at this demographic transition matrix from BPS, Indonesia's Central Bureau of Statistics. What you're seeing here is stagnation. Between February and August of 2025, the formal sector barely budged, moving from roughly 40.6 to just 42.2%. The reality? The formal sector just cannot absorb the surplus labor. The informal sector is going to remain the backbone of the economy for nearly 60% of the working population. But despite being so crucial, their daily transactions are incredibly vulnerable, totally undocumented, and completely unprotected.
And this problem gets so much more acute the second you step outside the capital city of Jakarta. In Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, the numbers just go off the charts. Look at a regional district like Indramayu. A mind-blowing 76.77% of their workforce is completely informal. There's a huge mismatch there between available skills and formal job creation. These workers desperately need a protected way to sell their services, and the local consumers need a reliable, trusted way to hire them.
Moving on to part two, the Rebana metropolitan opportunity.
So, where do we launch? We're not fighting for saturated scraps in Jakarta. We are targeting a highly strategic, rapidly accelerating region known as the Rebana metropolitan area. This triangle right here connects the Patimpan port, the Kertajati International Airport, and the Cirebon port in West Java. This is a massive, government-backed testing ground. The government is pushing hard to make this the third largest metropolitan area in West Java and the primary engine for their economic growth.
Why does this matter for an on-demand app? Well, the government is pouring hundreds of trillions of rupiah into building 13 new industrial zones across more than 43,000 hectares. We're talking 81 national strategic projects, all designed around this live, work, and play integration. This insane industrialization is triggering massive urbanization. You've got a brand new middle class moving into these buffer zones right now. And what does a new middle class need? They need plumbers, electricians, home maintenance, and domestic services. It's a highly dense, immediate customer base concentrated exactly where the workers already live.
Which brings us to Section 3, BantuWarga, the trust engine itself.
So how do we connect this massive labor force with that booming middle class without it turning into a chaotic mess? The answer is the platform's core promise, urusan beres tanpa drama. In English, that's things get done without drama. Let's be real. Historically, hiring informal help meant crossing your fingers, risking terrible quality, and haggling over cash. And for the worker, they constantly risk getting stiffed after the job is done. BantuWarga's entire mission is to strip all of that friction, anxiety, and risk right out of the ecosystem.
Exactly what is it then? BantuWarga is a centralized on-demand service marketplace laser-focused on those Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. But here is the kicker. It's not just a digital yellow pages. It is an end-to-end transaction infrastructure. It takes the whole life cycle of a high-risk, informal job and turns it into a secure, transparent digital protocol. It is an engine designed to manufacture trust, where frankly none currently exists.
Okay, part 4. Built for transaction security.
If we're going to talk defensibility, we got to look under the hood at their automated escrow flow. It's beautifully simple. A customer books a service, and their funds are immediately locked up front, powered by an integration with Midtrans and a SUPA-based database architecture. The money is safe. Then the worker does the job. The work is digitally verified right there in the app timeline, and only then are the funds released. This flow completely neutralizes the two biggest headaches in the market: workers bailing on half-finished jobs and customers suddenly refusing to pay.
The platform is built on 4 technology pillars, each one attacking a specific market risk. We just covered escrows solving wage theft, but check out the rest. They've built a digital dispute center, basically an encrypted digital courtroom where an admin objectively mediates quality conflicts. No more yelling matches on the front lawn. They use layered KYC, validating national ID cards so you actually know who you're letting into your house. And I love this one, a dual rating system that separates a worker's technical skill from their personality, so the market actually rewards genuine competence. Every single feature solves a real-world friction point.
Now, contrast all of that with the traditional cash market. Cash limits you to whoever happens to be in your physical network, and it's always high risk. BantuWarga blows the doors off that by integrating with Midtrans, Indonesia's top payment gateway. They support over 24 payment methods on day one. QRIS, GoPay, virtual bank accounts, it is totally frictionless. They are putting modern fintech infrastructure directly into the pockets of regional blue-collar workers.
Now, Section 5, a scalable monetization model.
I know what you're thinking as an investor. How does this actually make money? And how fast can it scale? Well, it honestly doesn't get cleaner than this. It's a purely transaction-led model. The platform takes a highly competitive, flat 10% commission on every successful job. That's it. 90% goes straight to the worker. It's transparent, it's fair, and it's incredibly scalable. As the gross merchandise value of that new Rabana middle class explodes, platform revenue scales right along with it.
But you know what makes this model pure genius for growth? It's what they don't charge. 0 onboarding fees, 0 monthly promo costs to get listed. This zero barrier entry is a total game changer for informal workers who just don't have upfront capital. It practically guarantees rapid adoption and massive supply-side growth. When a customer opens that app, there's always going to be a deep bench of verified, ready-to-work talent.
Finally, Section 6, driving real social impact.
You guys want ESG? This hits it out of the park. By digitizing these jobs, the social impact is profound. We're talking an absolute end to wage theft for these folks. But the bigger picture? It digitally formalizes a massive unbanked population. Workers who have never seen a pay stub in their lives are suddenly generating a verified digital financial footprint. That data is the golden key. It unlocks access to formal microcredit, like the government's CUR program, and even micro-housing loans. It is a literal tool for pulling families out of poverty.
Think about it. An informal worker is usually one bad accident away from their family losing everything. There's no safety net. But BantuWarga seamlessly integrates access to Indonesia's National Social Security Program for independent workers, the BPJS Ketenagakerjayaan BPU. For just 16,800 rupees a month, which is literally about $1, these workers get workplace accident and death coverage. The platform isn't just handing them gigs, it's actively protecting their lives.
And that brings us to the ultimate vision here. BantuWarga isn't just an app. It's a catalyst for socioeconomic inclusion, completely rebuilding the ecosystem of trust in the regional informal market. So here is the real question for you. Are you ready to fund a highly defensible trust engine that's poised to fundamentally formalize the future of Indonesia's workforce? Thanks for tuning into The Explainer today. I really hope this deep dive showed you just how massive this opportunity really is.